So here's a map, and I'll explain like the buttons you press in the build and stuff, how the build's played. Here's just an example map. So you're gonna need to blade fall first, and then you detonate the blades with your blade blast. It is a 2-button build. If you don't do that, and you just do blade blast, well, I do 1 blade, and that's not very good. So basically, you find a pack, and then you blow them up. Your Occultist Profane Bloom pops them. So then you have your Plague Bear, and then you can pop your Plague Bear once it reaches max, which at level 20 it's 1.2, and you can just, you know, flame dash around everywhere, or shield charge rather. And you just keep watching that number. When it gets back to full, you can go through the map again. The shield charge, clear everything. Very fast mapper. Also pairs really well if you get like a speed shrine or something, which you should be specting these speed shrines on your Atlas. Alright, so here's what you do for like single target. You'll curse them with your Poacher's Mark, because this will give you frenzy charges. And then your Withering Stab, and you will also press your focus button for increased ailment duration. And you will pop your Plague Bear as well, if it's at full. And then, yeah, actually it didn't pop my focus button because I'm using the Gull, but for like real bossing, you would use a rare helmet with the focus craft that your ailments you inflict last like 140% longer. Alright, so here's the full tree for the build. And here's your damage and what you'll do with the 6 slang and just a multi-modded wand. A good option really early on. It will feel kind of bad without cast speed, but you can try the obliteration wand since it's buffed. It's not too bad now. It really won't feel that good because of cast speed. Cast speed's really important. But yeah, that's a notable change. Mostly the build is still the same as it was before. There's a few changes, but not too many. For example, now I'm not using Shaper gloves anymore, and trying to drop the chance to poison gem, which was used before, but now it's not anymore. You still use it early though to cap your poison. Anyways, here's the tree, and basically, tree, you come all the way down here to get toxic strikes, and basically you just try and get 100% poison chance through the tree, and a few other pieces of gear, aka or gloves. So there you go, you get 100% poison chance by toxic strikes, fatal toxins, and serpentine spellslinger. And then your other poison chance comes from gloves and a jewel. You might need to use more than 1 jewel depending on how high tier poison chance you get on your gloves, but you can also use Herald of Agony to help cap it if you need to. That is also an option. Because if you're not at 100%, you're going to be losing a lot of damage. Here are well, let me talk about the defenses of the build first, I guess. So you do get spell suppression capped, and this build will be really nice for getting spell suppression early, because you have access to three suppression wheels. You can go this one, you can go that one, and you can go this one. Really early on, you can probably take both these. Later on, you'll probably only need to take one. and I think this one's the best one out of all of them. It's really nice for bossing and stuff, and making sure you always have a life charge up. So you have Ghost Shrouds, and you have Grace Termination here. I don't have Grace on in the PoE because you can probably drop it for bossing for more damage. I'd leave Determination up though for your Molten Shell, because that's a pretty huge defense. Let's see. What else? Oh, phasing on kill here from this one node, even if it might look a little weird, but phasing will be good. And then you don't have to run a Quartz Flask here either. Yeah. Besides that, you don't really have much defense. You have Temporal Chains, and get a bunch of Chaos Res here, and nearby hindered enemies deal 50% reduced stop, but it's not a super tanky build. You can't really play this like Potato. You can't just tank everything. You will have to dodge, but the upside is you get a lot of damage really quickly. And it is very fast clear. So something to note, this build will have mana issues. That's why I would not spec into this right away. There's a few things you need. I've kind of outlined in the notes here. I might add a few more things, but let me go through it here. You will need minus channeling cost on your amulet and on one ring. I don't have it on a ring here, but you may even want it on both rings. So on your rings, it has plus 18 life for each enemy gained by hit by your spells. It is a Shaper mod. You will need at least one of them to have plus 3 mana gained for each enemy hit by your spells. That is your mana sustain. It will completely sustain your mana as long as you don't miss. But this is by far the best solution. You can also invest in a bunch of mana regen, but that takes a lot of investment, and I don't think it's worth it. For mapping, I'd probably just use a mana flask to make it smoother. You don't need to, but that's what I did last time I played this build. But you can get away without it as well, using one of these too. So your other ring would I'd probably have a Despair on hit ring like this, if you want. The thing with this is you do lose a bit of DPS for a single target, but it will make your clear better because of you're not going to be able to fit Despair in as a Blasphemy Aura, which kind of hurts your shield charging Plague Bearer clear, so you can use one of these if you want. But no, you do lose a little bit of damage. So also having double Shaper rings will be a lot of tankiness, that life gain for each enemy hit by your spells. That is like a lot of life regen. Like you're easily gaining like 600 life just by tapping a pack. So keep that in mind. Marble Amulet, just so you get a little bit of life regen. That's something else this build struggles with, is life regen, because you don't really get any access to it. Since you're an occultist, doesn't really get much. There's not really any life regen on this side of the tree. You can try and pick it up where you can on your gear, but yeah, can't really do that. So in order to fit in Malevolence here, you will need a helmet with mana reservation implicit. You'll need to craft your helmet with loathing essences for mana reservation, efficiency of skills, and you'll need to do that on your chess piece as well with loathing for the mana reservation. Then you'll be able to have enough mana to fit in Malevolence and still cast your spells. For this, you'll just use Grace Determination. Your damage, as you can see, will still be fine, obviously. Let's see. What else? This is a big craft right here. Regenerate ES while near a rare enemy. Highly recommend that. Recommend a crystal belt too to bump your energy shield up for a ghost dance. Otherwise, if you use a leather belt, you'll only be at like 900 or so. Ideally, you want more. Try and get more energy shield on your chest piece as well. There. So the tree. Important things to note on the tree. That is the wrong one. There we go. So you'll need this mana reservation of your curses. I don't believe that is nerfed. I hope it's not. Plague Bear maximum value. This will help a lot with your clear. Most important one by far is this one. Skills that leave lingering maids have 20% chance to leave 2 instead of 1. This will like really help your clear and single target. Poison duration, chance to express spell damage if you have boots, helmets, and glove, have evasion. Grace efficiency, chaos damage, multi per 4 chaos res. This one's really good on Occultist because you get a huge chunk of chaos with this node. So I have the leveling trees here. So for leveling this build, you will go Spark up until 28 or so, because you do not get Poison Concoction as Witch, so you will need to go Spark. And then after you're level 28, you have 2 options. You can either go Armor Brand Cremation or you can go Poison Concoction. Poison Concoction, you'll have to do Library, and yeah. I'm undecided which one I want to do, either Armor Brand or Poison Concoction. I think I'll go Armor Brand Cremation, because I think it'll be a little bit smoother. Poison Concoction, for me in hardcore, I don't really like, because I run out of mana or life flask on bosses, doesn't feel good, but definitely an option if you want to do it. So the Spark Tree here, you do path over here a little bit. Path over to EO, so just because if you don't do this, you're gonna have no damage early. But you'll keep this for a while if you go Armor Brand. Well, you'll drop that. So yeah, keep that for Armor Brand, and then if you go Poison Concoction, you will not go this. I don't know how bad leveling will be if you don't go over here. Probably bad. I recommend going over here, or else your first 28 levels are going to be really slow. But here's what your tree will look like with Poison Concoction, and there's a little bit more. I'm going to make a video on, I'm gonna make an entire separate video on going on Poison Concoction, because this build will stay Poison Concoction for a really long time before switching to Blade Blast. Well, not a really long time, but maybe like a day or 2. Shorter than that, if you're Trade League, you could go this day 1. You just need to get some cast speed. And yeah. Mainly just need to get some cast speed so the build doesn't feel super clunky. Yeah, you don't need the Shaper Ring. You can just go a Mana Flask, it's fine. But if you're an SF or you're not the fastest at farming currency to buy gear or whatever, Poison Concoction for a while you farm up for getting cast speed gear is really a good option, is what I'll be doing. So that would be a good choice. I'll make a separate video on that because that'll have well, I could fit in this PoB, but it would really overload the PoB. Yeah, so I have the notes here. Make sure you keep Bladefall and Cascade at level 1 for mana costs, and it actually gives you more damage with spell Cascade level 1 because give you less blade spread. I have the gear explanation here, skill rotation, and that's about it for this. Make sure you keep an eye out on the PoB in the description, because I tend to update it after the fact. So safest case scenario is you look back on the video at league start and you grab the PoB again just to see if I made any last minute changes that would make the build better. But yeah, very solid league start. I'd rate this definitely like top 3, especially if you're trade league, because then you can like skip the poison concoction part and just go straight into Blade Blast and get some cast speed gear. Yeah, that's that.